The story of the bicycle's invention. In the early 19th century, at a time when Europe was emerging from the turbulence of the Napoleonic era, an unexpected series of events set the wheels, quite literally, in motion for one of humanity's most beloved inventions, the bicycle. The story begins not with an engineer or a factory, but with a volcano. In 1815, Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted with astonishing force, sending ash into the atmosphere and plunging much of the world into what became known as the year without a summer. Crops failed, livestock perished, horses, essential for transportation, became expensive to feed, and many died or were slaughtered. Roads once busy with carriages grew quiet. People walked because they had no other choice. Amidst this upheaval lived Baron Karl von Drais, a German civil servant with a restless mind and a fascination for mechanisms. Drais walked through his city and countryside, observing the horse shortage and the slow, inefficient movement of ordinary people. He wondered, could a machine help humans travel faster on their own power? What if one could walk without walking, move swiftly, freely above the ground? In 1817, after months tinkering in his workshop, Drais unveiled a curious wooden contraption. It had two wheels arranged in a line, something almost unheard of at the time, connected by a frame and steered with a handlebar. There were no pedals. Instead, the rider sat astride the frame and pushed along the ground with his feet, gliding in long strides once up to speed. He called it the loft machine or running machine. Others soon called it the Draisine. On June 12, 1817, Drais mounted his creation for a public trial. Spectators watched, puzzled and amused, as he propelled himself forward down the road from Mannheim to a coaching inn several miles away. To their astonishment, he completed the trip in less than an hour, faster than a horse-drawn carriage. News of the invention spread quickly. In Paris and London, fashionable young men rushed to try the new vehicle, nicknaming it the hobby horse or dandy horse. Riders sped down streets and boulevards, weaving dangerously between pedestrians. Accidents were common. The public laughed, complained, and sometimes cursed. City governments, irritated by the chaos, passed laws banning the Draisine from sidewalks and streets. The fad faded. Drais's running machine had introduced a revolutionary idea. Two wheels in a line maintaining balance with forward motion, but it was ahead of its time. For decades, the concept slumbered. But ideas rarely die. They wait for better minds, better tools, and better conditions. By the 1860s, France had become a hub of creativity again. Roads improved, workshops expanded, metalworking advanced. In the city of Paris, carriage makers Pierre Michaud and Pierre Lallemant revisited Drais's idea. What if the rider did not need to push along the ground? What if the machine could be propelled continuously? They attached pedals to the front wheel, creating the first true pedal-powered bicycle, known as the velocipede, or, more mockingly, the bone shaker, because of its harsh wooden frame and iron tires. It was uncomfortable, but it worked, and crucially, it represented independence, speed, and modernity. Young riders adopted it with enthusiasm. Velocipede schools opened, races were held. The idea caught fire. Inventors across Europe began refining the machine. They made frames from lighter metals. They experimented with steering, balance, and stability. In England, a daring new design emerged, the penny farthing, with its enormous front wheel and tiny rear wheel. The larger wheel allowed higher speeds, and adventurous young men, often dressed in suits and hats, sped down roads perched high above the ground. They crashed often, but they didn't care. Cycling had become a passion. Yet the true breakthrough came in the 1880s with the development of the safety bicycle. Engineers like John Kemp Starley realized that equal-sized wheels and a chain-driven rear wheel created a much safer, more stable ride. With pneumatic rubber tires, introduced later in the decade, the bicycle finally became comfortable, efficient, and practical. From that moment, the bicycle transformed the world. It granted mobility to ordinary workers, to women seeking freedom of movement, to children discovering independence. Roads improved, society shifted, and entire industries rose around this simple, elegant machine. And it all began with a volcano, a shortage of horses, and a curious man who believed humans could move faster if they only learned to balance on two wheels.